Jon Jones is just looming over the division right now. He's ready to go. It's not a Jon Jones thing. It's a Stipe thing.
Would you be open to it? Look, where does Francis, who is Francis going to fight next? Who does Francis fight? Like, what is the obvious fight other than Jon Jones?
I was going to say Jon Jones.
Jon Jones is the obvious fight for the big money, right? That's the big fight.
That's the big boy.
That's what everybody would want to see.
Jon to me is the golden goose of the division because Jon Stipe's the biggest fight they can make.
No, but would they make that before they made Jon Jones?
I think it depends on Stipe. I know Stipe's ready to go.
But you were saying Jon Jones, Francis, but Francis is not ready to fight.
Francis says he'll be ready early 2023.
How about Curtis Blades? Have they fought?
Curtis Blades has lost to Francis, yes.
Francis
saying,
twice.
I'm saying, are you saying who does Francis fight?
Yeah. Well, who's Francis defend his title against? Because if Francis doesn't fight Jon Jones and Jon Jones fights Stipe, then who does Francis fight? Does he wait and fight the winner of that fight?
Waits and fights the winner because I think times he's not trying to rush back to it with that knee. So you do Stipe, Jon in December, and then Francis fight the winner in like March. Jon to me is such to me he's the best we've ever had.
Yeah.
Him at heavyweight is I don't think anybody beats him.
He's really acclimating to the weight too.
You think that he out wrestles Ciryl Gane, and that's why he beat Ciryl Gane. It doesn't strike.
Ciryl Gane's the least of his worries. It's Francis and Stipe, but also with Jon, the only knock on him recently would be he gets hit and can't get hit at heavyweight. But I think he's gonna be smart at heavyweight. Because he's not a knockout artist, so he's going to take guys down, and then his fight IQ is what makes him special.
He doesn't have necessarily length at that
he does.
weight.
Oh, yeah. He has length. He has length.
It's the combination of MMA skills that make Jon so spectacular. He
Jon
knows
can do
what
it
to
all.
do and when to do it.
Yeah.
And
he improvises.
He can strike with you. Good luck getting close to him. He's the best distance manager maybe ever.
Yes.
He's very creative.
And then also when you get too close, he's going to take you down.
He'll take you down, and if he takes him down, he's not getting up.
Remember, he took DC down twice.
If Francis can take down Ciryl Gane and dominate him on the ground, if Jon Jones gets on top of him, that's a totally different beast. And Jon's just as big as him now. Jon's big now. He's like 253.
Jon is submit you, too. Jon is submit you.
Yeah, it's just whether or not, he's in form, right? Whether or not the long layoff plays a factor, whether or not, the bigger weight class plays a factor.
It would have to.
And with a mover like Ciryl Gane, the reason why him versus Jon would be so interesting is because Ciryl moves like no other heavyweight. When you covered the Jon Jones situation, that was very illuminating to me. I was like, oh. Yeah. Okay. And then you were talking about the test levels and the epitestosterone to testosterone ratio and how it was all off. Yeah. And all of these points seem to indicate that someone who was supplementing with exogenous hormones.
Yeah, it was like a pretty comprehensive picture that is hard to dispute with all the evidence presented. Like you couldn't be like, oh, sure, but
right.
It's pretty hard to refute what has been put in front of our face with the positive test results and all the other background context.
Yeah, and it's also a guy who, he's a wild dude.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of wild shit. He's doing coke.
Yeah.
It's not like his body's a temple.
Yeah. What do you think about his comeback?
Interesting. Yeah. If anybody wanted to get bigger and get taken out of the pool, I would have thought Jon did it. I mean, that would be the move,
Yeah.
Get super saucy. The question is, that's a lot of time off. But if Francis Ngannou versus Jon Jones is the big fight, well, Francis has had to take a lot of time off as well because Francis had a torn MCL and ACL, had to get surgery, reconstructed his leg, rehabilitated it, out for over a year. So that, to me, is very interesting. I like that fight because Francis has had a lot of time off, Jon's had a lot of time off, and, it's commensurate, at least close. I mean, obviously Francis has been more active recently, but at least that time off makes sense to me. And it's a very compelling fight. And I think Jon, his background, his resume does warrant an immediate shot at the title. He is absolutely one of the greatest fighters of all time. No ifs, ands, or buts. And him stepping up from light heavyweight, relinquishing the title, voluntarily saying, I'm done with this. I'm going to move up to heavyweight and be the heavyweight champ. And then building himself legitimately into a heavyweight and then documenting it all. Showing all the deadlifts, showing all the squats, put on size and put on some body fat. That's compelling.
What do you foresee as, if it happened, what would be your prediction?
Well, the grappling of Jon Jones is very difficult to deal with. I mean, for a guy like Francis Ngannou, who was primarily a striker and was taken down on multiple occasions by Stipe Miocic and really dominated in their first fight. The question is, has Francis gotten better at grappling? Well, he definitely has, because he beat Ciryl Gane with grappling. That was the fight that he fought with his blown out leg. Francis's grappling, even with a fucked leg, has gotten a lot better, but hasn't got to Jon Jones levels. That's the big question.